3 wheels with a bobtail fender and a Road Glide fairing, and that makes the Road Glide 3 here at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. And today it is your pre-owned bike of the week, this 2024 Harley-Davidson Road Glide 3. So probably one of the hottest additions to the trike family. This is the Harley-Davidson Road Glide 3. This is a 24 and it's pre-owned with just over 1,000 miles on it. And these things are sharp. This is the Atlas Silver metallic color, and it does have this nice little blue pinstripe all the way through, and you'll see out in the sun, it's got that gorgeous little bit of shine to it. All black trim on this bike, so you've got black wheels. This does have an aftermarket exhaust, it looks like. Then it does have some smoke turn signals, nice bright LEDs. Again, all black trim everywhere. This one is rocking the 114 Milwaukee 8, older style, so it only has the oil and air cooling. You got dual rotors up front, TPMS, some other fun safety sensors. You also have a little steering dampener too, and does have nice bright LED headlights. This is the Road Glide fairing, so it does have a lot of fun stuff in here. All of your Road Glide benefits, if you're familiar with it. If not, we'll be going over that here on the ride. Got our Clockworks windscreen here. And it does have this nice stock seat with the added on backrest, and you've got your hand grips for your passenger as well as your passenger floorboards. And right here is where the fun is. You have your luggage rack, probably one of the best ways to set these bikes up. They're a luggage rack, and then you have kind of a handle for your big old trunk in here. Got all kinds of stuff there. Closed up, make sure it clicks, boom, you're good to go. So let's go ahead and ride this thing. Listen to that. Sounds good. Nice bright LED turn signals, brake light combos back here. Looks mean. I like it. These are probably one of the best looking trikes too. I think the Road Glide 3 is one of the best looking ones there are. Now, the biggest downside of these bikes is this right here. There's no good way to put a tour pack on these bikes, not without some serious custom fabrication. Because you have that side open storage right here. Since this goes open, it'd be kind of hard to put that there and then put a massive tour pack on top of this. So what a lot of folks do that like to tour on these bikes, this is what they'll do. They will add this little luggage rack right here and a backrest. That way, even if they don't have a passenger, they'll still have it up here. That way they can put a duffel bag and strap it on there and then have their more permanent bag there. Personally, the way I would pack on one of these bikes, I'd have me a nice duffel bag right back here, filled up with your generic kind of lighter gear, and I'd my lock items that I really want to keep locked up, I'll keep them down there in that tour pack underneath, because it is keyless entry for the ignition, but you can still lock that part and you can lock the ignition. Then I'd probably try to get me some sort of those fancier duffel bags that sit back here that have a lot of like side pouches and stuff. That way you've got room to just drop your wallet in right quick. Or well, you do have these, so you can put it in that too. Either way, there's tons of ways to do it, but that's just an idea. So anyone that says you can't tour on these things, you would be wrong. So you see I've got this right here. Got my little pouches. And this one does have a parking brake too, because the trikes do have the little parking brake. That way they don't roll away anywhere, since you can't prop them on a side stand. Good power. This one has traction control, all the fun stuff too. And it has reverse. You'll have to check our other trike video to see reverse in action. But here we go. It feels like it turns a lot faster. I don't know if that's just me or what, but it just seems like it's got a little bit more turn to give, a little bit quicker. It's pretty smooth. Yeah, it definitely feels very responsive. And it might be because the front end's a little bit lighter, so there's a lot less weight on the bars, because you don't have to worry about having that big old fairing added on either. So, but it's pretty easy to stay in the lane here. I like it. Obviously, again, you just have to keep your corners kind of slow, but because you can't be leaning too crazy on this thing. But it's got all the torque of a 114 Milwaukee 8, so it will party on pretty well. Sounds good too. it's hugging this pretty well. Guys get to see a little bit extra highway today. Nice easy cruise today. Just strolling along on our Road Glide 3 with the lawman. Oh, that Dodge up there is sweating bullets right now. Yeah, could you tour on this? Oh yeah, this feels good. Pretty easy to move around. Just sitting here cruising on this thing. Yeah, these slip-ons sound good. They almost look like the bone shakers that were on another bike. But they've got a lot of good rumble. That 114's got a lot of torque ready to roll. We rode a Sportster earlier, and they're quick and they're good, but the V-twins, just the torque available on these V-twins is just a little more fun, I'd say. So, yeah, could you handle long distance on this thing? Absolutely. You know, and the beautiful thing is you don't have to put your feet down at all. That's kind of the whole thing about the old the trike here. So, you know, if you're somebody that, you know, doesn't really like riding two wheels, they really want that freedom associated with the motorcycle, or they're just not able to ride two wheels anymore, the trikes are a great option. That way you can still have a lot of your dresser touring benefits without trying to go any long distance on those much smaller bikes. So I still think the Heritage is worth the test ride because it's such a smaller, lighter, easier bike to handle, and you can load them down, but they're not as smaller and lighter when they're loaded down. So whereas this bike, I mean, you can, obviously you're still restricted by your safety ratings and your weight capacity and all that stuff, but you can fit a little more luggage on this than you can that Heritage, if I had to guess. Not the crazy amount more though. Yeah, see here at the light, throw it up in neutral. Clutch isn't too heavy either. Pretty easy to pull. Very comfortable seat too. It locks you in here. So just the right amount of cushion everywhere. So let's see, got my little cigarette lighter there so I can keep my cigarettes lit, or plug in a charger, GPS thing of some sort. But if you do want to plug your phone into that system there, on this side you have a little USB that you can plug in your phone to. Most important thing I've learned about driving a trike is they'll tell you to really make sure you're pushing with your whole upper body instead of just your arms, because you'll wear yourself out pretty quick driving one of these things by just pushing with your arms. You got to make sure you're getting a little more muscles involved there. That way you're not stressing out just those couple. Not too bad. It's just such an adjustment coming off of two wheels to ride one of these. It just takes a little bit more getting used to it, and learning more to trust your equipment here. You know, because I want to lean. I'm like, why am I turning this way? This isn't counter steering, but it takes a little bit of adjustment. But once you got it, it's not bad at all. Probably the other thing you got to remember is that you are significantly wider than you are on a motorcycle. So you have an extra wheel back there, so you're a little bit wider, so you can't pull up quite as close to the pump as you normally would. Let's keep that in mind. Yeah, we're cruising up here. This thing is nice. So those that aren't familiar with the Road Glide, you'll be happy about this next part. So pretty easy bars I've got here, but underneath on that top clamp, you'll see I have my main gauges. We got some torque. I won't go too crazy, it's only got 1,000 miles on it. So, or just over at least. Yeah. Yeah, so I've got my gauge cluster right here. So I've got my speed on the left. I have my engine speed on the right, known as the tachometer for all my MSF friends. Up on the left, I have my fuel gauge. Up on the right, I have my voltmeter. And then between those two, I have my beautiful Boom Infotainment GTS system there. So pretty nice. That's a powerhouse for this thing's infotainment. So I've got my radio, AM, FM, Bluetooth, all kinds of fun stuff that I can blast through these speakers right here. Buddy, it is 35 through here. Pretty good speakers too.
DR Movie Mouse. Weekdays at 7:20, 9:20, 12:20, and 3:20.
How does it corner? Not too bad. You gotta work for it more, obviously. Gotta work a lot more for it. There we go. Not too bad. You can definitely feel a little more bumps up here on the front, it feels like, but not too shabby. But besides all those wonderful audio options, you also can hit, and all of these I'm navigating with my thumb on these little joysticks down here on the left and right. But I can also go ahead and, so if you hit it once, takes you to home, then I'll hit the one on the right, what it had highlighted in blue. And you can change the color. I think this one was just set to blue because it matched the trim, but you can change the color up in that screen usually. But now I can see my map, so I can get a better idea of the turns that are coming up and all those fun things ahead. So that's a nice spot. That's where I like to leave it when I'm riding around. But if you like a little bit better view, you can also zoom in some, so I can get an even closer look at some of these side streets too, and have an even better idea at the road I'm going on. And you'll see again, if I want a little bit, if I don't want to stay, like this is a good view too, so that way I can see, like, okay, I am headed pretty much due east right now, but I can also go ahead and change it up some so that it'll actually follow me, so I can better see, okay, this road up here on the right, that is Greek, if I can read, that is Greek Way, okay? The one up here on the left, Mary Road. All right, so if I'm looking for a specific one, it makes it a whole lot easier to check out. So, and I can zoom out a little bit more too if I'm driving through one of those smaller neighborhoods, so I can get a better idea if one of those roads connects or not. So I really like this infotainment system here. So, and then you got fun little bike trip settings and all kinds of stuff like that to better track some of your metrics on some trips. Yeah, this thing hustles. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. And then we come up on the turn. Just go ahead and push with the body. Nice. Okay. Not bad. Yeah, it takes a little bit of adjustment, but then you'll feel pretty confident with it. Such as I do now. This fairing does a phenomenal job of keeping everything off me. I'm very much here for that. And the beautiful part about a trike is a lot of times they're heavy enough that they can actually tip the sensors down here. So that's always nice. So my fellow two-wheel friends, wow, and I can also lay down. Can I lay down? This is kind of nice. Nice little spot right here. Yeah, this sensor might not tip for me though. Oh, buddy. Watch the trim. Let's see. Okay, this might actually not trip the sensor. So which one do we like more, the Ultra or the Road Glide 3? Well, if I was going to be touring with a passenger a lot, I think I'd have to go with the Ultra. So far as rideability, they're about the same. There's a little, I feel like it's a little bit easier to do different bar options for the Road Glide. Also, if you're farsighted, because that's a little bit further out there. You hit this back. Also, downside to these bikes, it's kind of hard to swerve. You gotta really get on it if you're trying to swerve to miss an obstacle, because not only is it a little bit harder to steer, and you got to make sure you're going the right way, but also because it might be instinct just to like do a press, but what if I do a press trying to turn to the right, like I counter steer, then I'm going to the left, going to the right. So got to make sure you're ready for that. But I think that tour pack is the big thing. That's the biggest reason that I would want an Ultra over this. And if I just like the look of the Batwing fairing. If I'm not doing that much long distance touring with the passenger, then yeah, I could do this. And I could tour pretty well on this one. The biggest thing is that I have nice locking storage, so I can fit quite a bit of stuff in there. I can fit a helmet, duffel bags, pretty much everything I would need for a weekend trip I could throw in there. And then on this back rack I could, strap strap a tent on or something like that. Or if I'm hotel hopping, I can throw another duffel bag behind me, so I've got a little bit of a backrest for me. Yeah, all solid options. So there's really not many wrong ways to do it, but you can, if just me, if just myself had to pick a trike to go ride around on, I'd probably go for this right here, the Road Glide 3. The freewheeler is cool, but since the freewheeler is cool, I like that bike, and obviously because it's the same thing as this one, just different fairing or lack of on that bike. But since you're already driving the heavier bike, and since you don't have to balance it, the freewheelers are cool, but I mean, you might as well go ahead and ride the one that has the fairing. Obviously there's going to be a little bit of a bump in price on that for you paying for this fairing, but I mean, I feel like, because then you can still get the black trim on it too. And I feel like then you can go ahead and just have more touring benefits. So you might as well have speakers in this big old fairing then, instead of having to, because then when you're on that bike again, you don't have to really think about, is this bike going to be too heavy for me or anything like that. Like, you've got reverse and all those things. So I mean, you really shouldn't have to be pushing the bike much at all. So unless you're like, so you really shouldn't have to push the bike. So you can go ahead and might as well get the one that you have that nice infotainment system on. So then between this bike and the Ultra, I just like the look of this one a little bit more. But so far as performance and handling, this one felt just a little bit responsive, but it could be because of the bar position. For some reason, I felt like the Ultra took bumps a little bit better. I'd have to really ride them side by side to really think that, but it's a pretty tough call on that. No, they handled about the same with that. Yeah, this feels pretty good. The Ultra, I had a little bit more adjustment for the wind. So this one, I have the little lever up there that I can adjust here. But again, that's another thing. If I'm trying to use that touchscreen, I've got to really get in there to reach it. Whereas the Ultra, it was all right here. So for really long distance touring, Ultra might be just a little, it's tough. It's really just getting personal preference, because you really shouldn't have to touch the screen that much unless you're typing stuff in. But then the bike won't let you type in a destination unless you're stopped anyway. So it really won't matter that much. But yeah, it's gonna be a personal preference between the Ultra and this thing. honestly, now, because they're both solid. And then if you really want that tour pack or not, and have even extra space. Oh, he's going the wrong way. Buddy, you can't pull over there. Where are you going? He's doing a U-turn. No way. In front of all the traffic. Ow. A professional. He's got a bunch of blown tires. Yeah, I really don't want to get into that. Are more than one of his tires blown? I think it's just the one. You never know what you're going to be seeing going on in Raleigh. That's for sure. I think any city, really anywhere these days. There's no telling what's going on, but that dude was partying. There we go. Alright, looks like you will get reversed after all. I'm gonna go park in a different spot. Take a nice, easy cruise. Watch out for where that trailer might have gone. If I had to guess, he was going to the tire shop. Oh yeah. All right, yep, I'll show you reverse. So, quick little thing for reverse, throw it up in neutral, and then I'll press and hold what's the starter. Now we're in reverse, so now, if I want to go in reverse, check my surroundings and behind me and press and hold. There you go, and then just, it's great for like quick little things, and to be ready to go, I can go ahead and put it back in gear and get all set. All right. Then when I turn it off, hit the key, or hit the thumb, key, and my parking brake before I get off the other brakes. And you're set. So thank you guys for riding along with us here at Back Road Harley-Davidson. If you want to know more about this 2024 pre-owned Harley-Davidson Road Glide 3, then come see us here at Back Road Harley-Davidson. So thank you guys for watching, and in the meantime, ride safe, and we hope to see you soon.